For more than 100 days over the past year and a half, a coroner's court in New South Wales has been poring over every detail of what happened in the 2014 Lindt cafe siege. A violent supporter of the terrorist group Islamic State held a group of people hostage for 17 hours, and ultimately 2 hostages died, one after police stormed the cafe and one in the minutes before. The New South Wales Police have fought to avoid public scrutiny, attempting to have the hearings held in secret and claiming the Police Commissioner and his deputies had no involvement in the botched operation. The force's top brass have finally had to appear in an extraordinary 3 days of hearings in which a Police Deputy Commissioner conceded deleting correspondence and her boss insisted he never gave a single order. Sean Rubenstein-Dunlop reports.
Louisa Hope has made this journey nearly 100 times to relive the 17-hour ordeal that nearly killed her at Sydney's Lindt cafe.
This will probably be the last time.
Initially I started going just to pay respects to the family and, Tori and Katrina, but it quickly became obvious for me personally that it was helping me to understand the fullness of the day. Everyone's experience in the cafe that day was different, and we all have our own individual memories of it. It's not even what happened on the day, but how do we go forward as a nation from this experience.
Louisa Hope was one of 18 people held hostage by a deluded Islamic State supporter in December 2014. Tori Johnson's father, Ken, has been a constant presence at the coronial inquest since it began in May last year. So too the family of barrister Katrina Dawson, who was killed by police gunfire when officers stormed the Lindt cafe. The families have waged a bitter and public battle to ask the New South Wales Police one question. Could Katrina Dawson and Tori Johnson's deaths have been avoided? What would you like to hear from the commissioners?
Just their truth. I'm sure they'll do that.
The New South Wales Police Commissioner arrived at the inquest for the first time today. Andrew Scipione's lawyers had argued he shouldn't appear, insisting he gave no orders during the siege operation.
Today is part of a very, very important process. It's something that we've supported from the beginning. 2 young Australians lost their lives here, and we need to make sure we're doing all we can to make sure that never happens again. Thank you.
A police operation is underway in Martin Place in Sydney CBD.
Just here at Channel 7, all of the staff here are being told to get away from the windows.
The crisis began at 9:40 a.m. on the 15th of December 2014 when the Lindt Cafe's manager, Tori Johnson, made a chilling call to 000.
I'm calling from Martin Place. I have a message to read to you. Sorry, I have a gun in front of me. Hostages have been taken. Australia is under attack by Islamic State. There are 3 bombs in 3 different locations: Martin Place, Circular Quay and George Street.
This is probably the most complex operational challenge the New South Wales Police would ever have, frankly. Lots of different functions working together in synchronisation against a deadly threat, and it doesn't get more complicated.
We'll work as long as we need to bring this to an outcome.
At 1:30 p.m, Commissioner Andrew Scipione assured the nation police had a rescue plan.
The officers that are there are well trained and professional. They know what they're doing. They have trained for this.
They today have acted decisively. They are on top of the situation and they are doing everything possible that needs to be done.
Inside the Lindt cafe, hostages had faith in the police.
All through the day, I had a certainty that the police were coming. Well, now as I understand, from listening to the testimony, the police had a trigger of needing death or serious injury to a hostage. I thought the bar would have perhaps been a little lower. I thought the bar would have been the fact that somebody was holding us hostage, perhaps would have been the bar.
All he wants is a flag and a phone call from our Prime Minister, who has let us down again. This is all he wants. It's not hard. Why are we still here?
We have our police negotiators on site. They are some of the best in the world, and we are very fortunate that we have these police dealing with the matter at the moment.
Andrew Scipioni's deputy, Catherine Byrne, is in charge of counter-terrorism. Byrne told the inquest she had no direct role in the operation. Her role was to brief politicians and the media.
You talk about negotiators. Does that mean that police have made contact with the gunman or gunmen?
Police negotiators have had contact and they continue to have contact.
Police never had direct contact with the gunman Man Monas.
We now know from evidence that's been presented before the coronial inquiry there was no negotiation. So it is inexplicable to international counter-terrorism experts that there wasn't an increased effort to try to get into a conversation with the perpetrator.
Negotiators weren't told third parties had offered to mediate. That vital task was left to hostages, including Louisa Hope.
He's about to shoot me, so please do on time. I don't want to die.
We spent the whole day, all of us, doing whatever we could to keep the gunman busy, occupied, satisfied, to trying to meet his demands of needing media attention. And everyone within that room that day was working very hard to keep that going. So believing, I suppose, that, yeah, the police would come soon.
The police didn't come, and 5 desperate hostages made a daring escape.
We're going to take some live pictures, as we keep talking, but I believe that there is movement, some people running out of the building.
At 8:15 p.m, Commissioner Scipioni fronted the media again.
Our plan, our only goal tonight, and for as long as this takes, is to get those people that are currently caught in that building out of there safely.
The inquestors heard there was never a plan to ambush Man Monas and get the hostages out unharmed.
You have to plan for all reasonable possibilities, and that includes an intervention of your own making, because sitting back and doing nothing is not a viable strategy, particularly if you are saying you are containing and negotiating and you are not actually negotiating.
The negotiation team was based in a cramped office in the New South Wales Leagues Club because their specialist truck had been sold off. They had only one landline. When it was busy, calls from hostages were diverted and went unanswered. Catherine Byrne told the inquest she wasn't told about the technical failures, but evidence of her communications is missing. Catherine Byrne told the inquest she deleted her text messages.
I did not think I was an involved person in this matter. I don't believe I deleted anything that would have relevance.
Around 10 p.m, as the siege wore on, Catherine Byrne went home. She sent herself an email which was only discovered this week. The email contained a text message from Andrew Scipioni.
We should be preparing a fresh bid for new equipment. Can you please make sure you get some advice as to new electronic images, audio, intelligence equipment that we may need in the future? I will need this soon in order to make sure we are appropriately prepared for the future.
Andrew Scipione told the inquest he gave no orders during the 17-hour operation. Today that was called into question. At 10:57 p.m, a police scribe made this note of a phone call Scipione made to the commander. They discussed a DA, or deliberate action plan, to take Man Monis by surprise.
DA plan to occur as a last resort.
At 11:30 p.m, Andrew Scipione went home.
We don't understand why his demands haven't been met yet. They are not unreasonable. He's only asking for a flag and a phone call.
At 11:57 p.m, a video of a hostage online prompted this email from Scipione to one of his deputies.
This was just sent to me. Let's move to have it pulled from YouTube. I'll leave it to you.
At 2:03 a.m, 6 hostages escaped. Man Monis shot at them, but the police forward commander was not informed. Neither was he told at 2:06 a.m, when Tory Johnson was forced to kneel.
That's a big issue and needs to be, the lesson from that needs to be learnt very quickly, because the lack of communications almost guarantees a failure in good decision making. People at the front end weren't being proactive. They should have been screaming for that information.
At 2:13 a.m, Tory Johnson was shot dead. 51 seconds later, police finally stormed the Lindt cafe. A chilling freeze frame captured Louisa Hope, standing solitary amidst the gunfire.
One of the TAC teams had said in their evidence that I was standing like a statue, and I think that's just how I was, you know, so like glued to the floor and thinking about what to do, where to go.
Remarkably, Louisa Hope survived with only a gunshot wound to the foot. Barrister Katrina Dawson was killed in the hail of 22 police bullets.
And as head of counter-terrorism, do you think perhaps you should have been more involved?
I can't make a comment. I've given my evidence, so thank you.
The New South Wales Police have faced the fury of the families of Katrina Dawson and Tory Johnson. Now the force will need to fight to restore the confidence of the public.
Well, I think obviously there's a general mood out there in the public that this does not reflect particularly well on New South Wales' finest. It's embarrassing for New South Wales Police, and CT authorities around the world are watching somewhat incredulously at some of the proceedings. But I have no doubt that not just the hierarchy, the rank and file operatives in New South Wales Police would have wanted a much better outcome. Nobody can take any delight in what's happened here. Nobody.